President Nicolas Sarkozy are meeting in Paris later today to discuss ways to solve the Eurozone debt crisis. It comes as European stock markets have fallen after figures show that growth in the German economy has been far weaker than expected, slowing sharply between April and June. Christian Fraser reports.
4 weeks ago, they shook hands on a deal the French hailed as a game-changer. But was the expanded bailout fund, now sitting at €440 billion, a cure to the economic crisis, or merely a patch to buy European leaders some time? Since then, pressure has grown on Italy and Spain. The crisis has spread to the heart of Europe, with a run on French banks last week. And to top it all, there are signs both here and in Germany today that growth is shuddering to a halt.
The German GDP number was significantly sort of below expectations, very disappointing. And I think there's more worrying signs looking further ahead, because you look at some of the forward-looking surveys in Germany, they are suggesting that the economy is slowing going forward. So I think that the outlook is not that encouraging either.
And yet, today's meeting was supposed to reassure the markets and French voters. In newspaper polls this weekend, 46% of French people surveyed said they trusted the German Chancellor to solve their problems. Only 33% expressed the same confidence in their own president.
I think Angela Merkel is a very good economic woman. So I understand that French people, I can believe that French people are believing more in her than in Sarkozy.
If another person was a president at the same time, it would be the same for another president. It's just the mindset that we have to change.
The French people like to protest.
Yes.
And so the German Chancellor carries a heavy responsibility, keeping the Eurozone together while maintaining the support of her own voters. She's ruled out discussions today of Eurobonds, the idea one nation's debt would become the shared burden of Europe, with Germany as the main guarantor. Instead, they'll talk economic governance, how to force countries like Italy and Spain to cut debt and play by the rules.
Well, Christian Fraser joins me now live from Paris. Christian, a lot for the two leaders, German and French leaders, to talk about. Specifically, the fact that they've got very little growth going on in their own countries, and by extension the rest of the Eurozone, but also the fact that the Euro stabilisation package from last month, frankly, as far as the markets are concerned, is not big enough.
No, and I think that's reflected, Clive, in the share prices today. Just looking at the CAC 40, the main share index here in France, it's down, it's sliding again, largely because people can see from what is being said in Berlin that there's not going to be any major announcement today. I think in recent months, these two have sat at the eye of the storm, slightly buffeted by the winds that are swirling around them, but yet really unaffected by the crisis. Now it's starting to come home. The markets are looking for big and decisive decisions, convincing plans. The problem that they have, these two leaders, is that growth is now coming to a grinding halt. And although the markets are calling for decisive cuts in that debt, the one thing they dislike more than debt is the fact that they might be heading towards zero or negative growth. So they have to find a balance. Of course, countries like Italy and Spain must cut and cut sharply, but in these countries, France and Germany, they have to consolidate the debt while at the same time not killing off the green shoots of recovery. It's a very difficult balance to find.
Christian, thank you.
We're going to return now to our main story, which is unravelling or unfolding as we speak. Documents released by a committee of MPs claim that phone hacking was widely discussed at the News of the World. One letter written by the newspaper's former royal editor, Clive Goodman, who was jailed in 2007 for hacking, says it was regularly discussed at editorial meetings.
Yes, well, the